So I'm here today at SandyCreek Farm in Lexington, North Carolina, where I'm going to learn how to grow shiitake mushrooms. Now, I was browsing online on localharvest.org when I saw that this local farm here, which is not too far from me, was having a shiitake mushroom inoculation workshop. Try saying that 10 times. And so I signed up for them. I reached out to the owners, which is Brenda and John, and I said, hey guys, I'd like to come out there and join your workshop, and they said, come on over. So we're here today. It's on a beautiful Saturday. There's a break in the rain, and we're going to learn how to grow mushrooms. Let's go. All right, so we have Brenda and John from SandyCreek Farm. How are you guys doing today?
We're doing good.
Great.
Glad to have
beautiful
you out
day.
here, Jaime.
So why don't you guys tell me a little bit about your farm? Like, how big is it, and what do you guys produce?
It's a small area. We've got about 16 acres out here, and when we first came out here, it was all wooded, most of pine trees. And we cleared a field for blueberries, and we started with mushroom logs. We were looking for something that would work in a pine forest. And after talking to an extension agent here in Davidson County, and were suggested by her to us to check into doing shiitake mushrooms. So we went to a workshop and at A&T University in Greensboro, and that's where we got our start. So
how long ago was that?
It was in 04. 2004.
Okay, 2004.
When we did the mushrooms.
Yes.
Then we added the blueberries a little bit later, and then following that it was the greenhouse. I think that's the order of things.
So what all do you carry in your store? I know you have a little farm stand here.
Yeah, we carry a lot of homemade goodies, things that we make out of what we grow, jellies and jams, and we have a dried mushrooms and fresh mushrooms. We also carry some things from around North Carolina that are favorites of ours, like Goat Lady goat cheese and
I love that
Holly
cheese.
Grove Farm goat cheese, and Ashe County cheeses and butter and whatever they have to offer at any given time. And we have people I have friends who are crafty and I'm not. They have little handmade items, and we'll put them on consignment in the store. So yeah, just a little bit of this and that.
So how long have you guys been like farming in general? Is this like something you got into, or is this something that you've been doing all your lives?
Not all our lives.
No,
for sure.
this is. I've had small gardens before in town, and this place out here started our farming, basically, or most of it anyway. Right.
Was there anything in particular that made you just want to start?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we were living in town, and this was all family land, and my dad had passed away, and the only thing that was out here really was the pine trees, as John mentioned earlier, except at the very front. And he had set out muscadine vines, which are still there, and we're trying to manage those, but they were being overtaken and overgrown, and Mother was really sad about that. She couldn't keep it up, and so we started pitching in and doing that. And then we found an old log cabin that we wanted to move out here, and she said, fine, take it and set it up. So we moved, took it apart, moved it here, put it back together, and it's near the back of the property. That was going to be kind of our little weekend place or whatever. Instead of having that log cabin, we ended up building a house. So we moved from in town and built a house out here, and gradually cleared, and we wanted to do something with the land, but really didn't know. My dad had been kind of a farmer, and some of it must have rubbed off because I didn't pay much attention to him then, but then I kind of got the fever when we got out here on this special place. So
We've had a lot of fun out here, and we've done quite a few events in the evenings with music and that sort of thing, and people have enjoyed that.
Yes, I noticed you guys have quite a few events throughout the year, like workshops and whatnot. So today is going to be the shiitake mushroom workshop. What kind of things are we going to go over today?
This would be a lot of information.
Yeah, well, we're just going to generally show with the logs that we have already cut. We cut last week, and it's important that they're inoculated soon after they're cut. 2 weeks is about as long as we like to keep them, and So we'll be drilling holes in those and putting sawdust spawn in them, and then that will be sealed over with a cheese wax that we get from the Ashe County cheese factory. And the ends will be painted to keep the moisture in the logs while the mushrooms grow. And then there'll just be a lesson on what to expect, from those logs.
Now these take, 3 years to start growing?
Once a log is inoculated?
Yeah.
No, actually it's around 9 months, maybe, sometimes less. The first year we inoculated them, we were surprised to find mushrooms in the fall of that year. So it can be quicker. It depends so much on the weather, and rainfall has a lot to do with it. So that log has been here a long time, and you can see it's beginning to deteriorate. But even so, it will continue to produce mushrooms. A lot of times we take them out of the woods when they begin to get pretty bad and fall apart. Throw them up near an old garden site, and many times we've gone up there after a heavy rain and found mushrooms, just growing on those old logs that are laying there. So.
You have a sprinkler system here set up to water them?
We do, yes. If we go for 1 week without rain, then we'll start the sprinklers running. And we just don't want the logs to dry out. A lot of the logs in this area have been out here for a number of years. But you can see how this is a pretty good size. This one has actually flattened out more than we like. We like to pick them when they're still curled over some, like this. Now this is nice. It's a nice one. This was done on 3/2/14, 2014. That other one may have been 14. I don't know. It looked like an 11.
So how long do the logs last, or how do you know when they're done?
Well, when they begin to, this one is still, you can feel by weight that they've still got some moisture in them. They're still heavy. And then when they begin to get real light, and the smaller logs are going to wear out sooner than the larger ones. It just takes longer for a big log to get to that point. But they begin to get real light and papery, and like the one we saw over there, even though it was a big log. We've done mostly white oak, red oak, and cherry. That's the 3 woods that we've used out here.
Now I noticed some of these are stacked vertically, but then you have some that are stacked differently over here.
Yeah, these are small enough that we can handle them, lift them, and turn them around. And these have been here a long time. When we started early on doing this, we did a lot of big logs, but we have quit doing that pretty much. Oh, here's some along here on that log.
Oh yeah.
So these are. Should have brought a basket out here. I didn't notice. Oops, tearing that one. But some of them, if they're not picked, if they're missed, they'll begin to dry out. And also, when they dry, they can be rehydrated. Sometimes Brenda dries them. If we have a big flush out here and more mushrooms than we can sell in a short period of time, then she will dry them. And when we pick them initially, we kind of brush them off and cut the stems off.
The more you soak it, and we do that sometimes if we have a restaurant that's having a special, or somebody having a special event, then about 2 weeks ahead we will go through and soak the mushrooms, and we know which ones react best to soaking, and it forces them to fruit. So we do it for 24 hours, and then we set them up, and then they'll start popping out in a few days.
Now, is it completely full or just?
It's
not
this is designed to push it in there just a little bit, enough to put some wax on top. It's a food grade cheese wax, and we get it from Ashe County Cheese in the mountains where we get our cheeses. And you see a lot of black on the table there. Actually, this wax will eventually turn black on the logs. when you,
Yeah, I thought it
after
was
we do
tar.
this, yeah, if you want to go through the woods and look at the logs that we've got, a few mushrooms growing on, not many, but a few in there. But you'll see a lot of black areas where they were drilled and where the wax was put on there. All right, and we use a dabber here, and we just dip it in the wax.
It's
And
very
it's-
hot, so be
it's
careful.
hot.
Because when
Yeah.
it starts to cool, it does get thicker, and it will be easier to pop off and, you know, expose that hole. So,
Now, once we cover all of the spawn that we've put in with wax, we will take a paintbrush and get it good and hot, and we will paint the ends of the logs with wax. Okay, the next one.
So I just got back from SandyCreek Farm from our Shiitake mushroom workshop, and I have my mushroom log here. I have to say that this is the absolute best experience. This is the way to get into something new. I've been talking about whether or not to get into mushrooms. I've been looking into it and doing a lot of research, reading a lot of books on it, watching a lot of videos, but honestly, there's nothing like hands-on experience and going and talking to some experts about how to do something like this. And not only that, but rather than me investing in all the equipment that is needed to grow my own mushrooms, this is a way to kind of just test the waters very inexpensively and to see if it works and to see if I like it. And it turns out that I really enjoy inoculating mushroom logs. Like, this is really a lot of fun and something that I can see myself doing further on down the line. Definitely an investment and an easy way of getting into this kind of skill. I definitely asked a lot of questions to Brenda and John, and they were fantastic in answering them. If you guys are in the area in Lexington, definitely stop by and just check out their little farm store and get some mushrooms from them. We picked up a bag of shiitake mushrooms to take home, and I got some of Brenda's jam too, or jelly too. I got some black and blue jelly. They have blueberry bushes there, and it's made with blackberries as well. And some cactus jelly, which is made with prickly pear juice. So I'm looking forward to trying these. These look really good. And if you guys are interested in any of the workshops they hold, I'm going to leave the link down below as well. Definitely go check them out if you can. And wherever you are, if you guys are looking to get into some skill, find a workshop nearby, find an expert, and go and talk to them first and see if you can test it out first. If you guys like this kind of stuff, like and subscribe. If you guys have any questions or comments about any of the things that we did today, leave them down below. I'll try and answer them as best I can. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.